So let's talk about the Rooivalk, and yes, I had to Google that so as to say it correctly. But anyways, welcome back to yet another talking head video, but this time we're going to be taking a look at the latest premium helicopter to be introduced during the Drone Age update, and this time it's for the Bri'ish high tier lineup. And I will admit, this is something that the Bri'ish have been desperately needing for quite some time. And no, I'm not saying that because the Mk1 is bad by any means. I am simply saying that the Rooivalk one-ups the Apache in several critical areas to which I will outline in today's video. So let's begin. The Rooivalk is a South African helicopter that was introduced in 2011, which makes this a modern helicopter with modern firepower and modules that makes this, at least in my opinion, one of the most efficient helicopters to be introduced in the recent updates. So let's start off with the firepower. So there are three types of missiles that helicopters will use in War Thunder. I'll try to outline just the two of them as these are the most common ones. You have the direct fire ATGMs, much like the Vickers missiles, the HOTS, and the TOWs. And yes, I am aware that there are different types, such as beam riding, sat-close laser, and IR-guided missiles. But to keep things fairly simple for the video, I will refer to them as direct fire and top-down. Now, Hellfires are one of the most common top-down missiles you'll find at top tier, and are one of the most unreliable systems compared to, say, direct fire types, at least in my experience. The Rooivalk uses a missile similar to that of the Hellfire called the ZT-6 Mk1F ATGM, and when I say similar, I say it very loosely as it has a significant benefit over the traditional Hellfires, excuse me. Whereas it may perform like one, it has a significantly increased amount of armor penetration, and it hits incredibly hard at 1,350 millimeters of RHA. And seeing that it is a tandem warhead, it has the second highest amount of penetration you'll find for any chemical penetrator, at least in the ATGM form. And to complement those missiles, it also comes with up to 4 Mistral air-to-air missiles. Unfortunately, along with Stingers and Eagles, these missiles are terribly unreliable and require you to use them under very specific conditions. And then there's the chin-mounted gun. It's a fairly accurate 20mm that can shoot HVAP in its AP belt, and I think also the stock belt as well, but not as much as the AP. And that penetrates up to 57mm of armor. It's not the best, but it can get the job done if you're up close and above your targets. The aim of the game is to aim for tops of the roofs, of course, as well as the engine decks. And to one-up this gun just a little bit more, it can also accurately track other aircraft with proper lead and is incredibly dangerous against aircraft coming at you in a head-on or that are coming very close to you, flying to the side of you, etc. Trust me when I say this gun is very accurate against them. And the helicopter itself also comes with a highly sought-after feature, which is the Missile Approach Warning System, or the MAWS. Now, this warns you of any incoming missile, be it an ATGM, a surface-to-air missile, or some flying Chad who just threw a Maverick your way from 10 kilometers away. It will warn you from that as well. But the system will not only warn you, but it'll pop flares and chaff, assuming you have those equipped on you already. You also have the new engine fire suppression system, though I have yet to really use it effectively. I mean, every time I get shot at, I either fall down like a damn meteor or I just blow up right away. But here's the best part of this helicopter. It sits at battle rating 10.7 and has premium bonuses, so you can efficiently grind through your helicopter tech tree, because going in without one is incredibly difficult. And no, don't think I'm trying to sell this to you. Helicopter grinds in War Thunder are probably one of the most, I would say, frustrating grinds you'll ever go through, and doing it without a premium helicopter or at least a talisman, trust me when I say it's going to be a very miserable experience. Now, this is where I'm going to be going a little bit off script. I do write a script for these types of videos, but this time around, I'm going to be speaking very freely and off the top of my head. When it comes to the Rooivalk itself, it is a helicopter that, in my honest opinion, does one-up the Apache in, again, several key areas, such as speed of the missile, as well as efficiency of the missile itself. Now, granted, the missile does travel significantly faster than that of the Hellfire itself. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an accurate missile. Now, seeing that it is a top-down platform, that means every single time you make any sort of adjustment at significant distances, yeah, the missile might get there quicker than the traditional Hellfire, but that means is when you move the gun sight while the missile is in flight and even closer to the target, or I mean that the missile is coming closer, any sort of adjustment, your missile is going to fly everywhere. If the target you're looking at goes behind a bush, your missile is going to lose tracking. If your target pops smoke, your missile is going to lose tracking. And if you decide to evade a SAM system while having that vehicle locked, guess what? That missile is going to miss almost every single time. And it's much less forgiving than that of, say, the Vickers missile or the HOTS. But the benefit of the Vickers missile is, of course, you have the proxy to it, which is good against other helicopters. Now, if you have a helicopter that has a Vickers missile looking at you and has the missile coming your way, you can do one of two things. You can either fly straight to the deck, and hopefully that missile won't hit you directly because it will not proxy on you, or you can kiss your butt goodbye because you're going to die. I hate to say it, but that's kind of the nature of top tier helicopters right now. If you are fighting against the Russians, it's probably going to be a very piss poor experience. The only other nation that can really deal with them efficiently is that from, well, the Chinese. But oddly enough, the Chinese always get paired up with the Russians. Now, comparing this to the Apache itself, I understand the Apache has a good system to be able to counter other helicopters such as the Starstreaks. They are brilliant, well, missiles for the most part, if you want to go and call them that, but unfortunately, they are still relatively unreliable. They can't get the job done, don't get me wrong. In the right hands in a skilled user, it can be incredibly dangerous towards other helicopters, but you only get 4 of them. And that's honestly really it. When it comes to the Rooivalk itself, you have, of course, the missile approach warning system. You have better performing, I would say, air-to-air missiles because Mistrals, they're not the best. They can get the job done sort of against other helicopters, and if you know exactly what you're doing, can work very well against fixed-wing aircraft. And, of course, you have that tandem ATGM with 1,350 millimeters of base penetration. That is nuts. I'm not kidding. That is incredibly insane. I mean, about 1,800 to 1,000 going top down is going to get the job done anyway, because remember, the top of tanks are some of the most vulnerable parts of the vehicle. So having that much penetration is almost unnecessary at given times, I would think, unless the missile comes inside on. Pretty much everything you shoot at, it's going to go through. Now, whether or not it's going to kill it is a completely different story. So would I recommend this helicopter as a purchase? Yeah. I mean, if you're going for a good helicopter grind, at least for the Bri'ish lineup, it is way better, in my opinion, than the tech tree variants of anything they have, because it combines everything you would want with missile approach warning, good flight characteristics, great missiles, good air-to-air, and it also pairs it up with premium bonuses, which means that you get bonus SL and bonus RP for the entirety of your helicopter tech tree, which in truth, unless you're playing some of the lower tier stuff, I wouldn't really see a reason why you would want to play any other helicopter than this one for the Bri'ish. But I know, I get it. You guys are thinking I'm trying to sell this to you, and I get it. I am trying to sell this to you. I'm trying to give you an honest opinion about this, whether to see whether or not you want to go ahead and make that purchase. And I would say, yeah, it's worthwhile. And if you use it, you better use my 3% code. Of course, it benefits you, it benefits me. You know the whole spiel, right? But I'm only really saying this to those who are kind of on the fence about buying this helicopter. If you want a good one that can get the job done, this is most certainly the helicopter for you. But if you just kind of want to just have something for the top tier lineup, I would say get the Apache over anything else. But at battle rating 10.7, you can risk a down tier to 9.7. And trust me when I say this thing will spank those terms incredibly well as spanking the Germans and everyone else for that matter, because 16 of these Hellfires, or excuse me, of these missiles are no joke. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know exactly what you guys think. Is this a worthwhile helicopter? Is it another gimmick that's being introduced by Gaijin to make some sales? Or is this going to bring in a new era for helicopters, which I highly doubt? Feel free to let me know down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, don't forget to check out my live streams over on Twitch. The link is in the description. I am currently on a small break right now because, oh boy, the Twitch drop just happened and I am tired right now. Okay, I'm taking some time for myself. So with that being said, thank you so much for listening to this, and I hope you guys did enjoy everything, and I will see you not only in the next video or even the streams, but in War Thunder itself. Maybe not at top tier right now because those drones are incredibly annoying. I'll see you next time.